Okay, NBA quick hits for Saturday the 26th of September. Boston were able to force a game six, and where things turned in today's game was the third quarter. So Boston scored 41 points in the quarter alone, but there was much more to it than just the fact that they scored. I think they had scored Miami by 16 in the quarter alone. I'll touch on just their physical defense and their aggression on offense, just towards attacking the rim. Then Daniel Theis outplayed Bam, so I'll show some clips of Theis, and then finally Miami obviously just really had a drought offensively. They couldn't throw a rock in the ocean, so we'll look at a few clips from that. But to start, so they were really physical with Miami in that third quarter. They obviously weren't really happy with how the first half went, so you could see a clear change in the mindset and focus, forced Miami to take very difficult shots. You can see here Brown just not giving up on the mismatch on Bam and forcing the steal. You'd hope that in the future, as Adebayo develops, that's something that never happens and you can just back down the mismatch and finish. Then here you see Smart just refusing to give up. He fights over the screen, and then you see the whole Boston team here staying active, good rotations defensively, and then Smart also puts in the extra effort to get out to contest the Robinson three. And then finally you'll see Jaylen Brown refusing to give Jimmy Butler the angle he wants, and it forces Jimmy to take a much tougher shot than he would have liked. And you have the offensive side of the ball, and these clips here, they're just showing the aggression. And so from the three best offensive players in the team, Kemba, Brown, Tatum, they all had an emphasis on not settling for jumpers and just taking the ball to the rim. And worst case scenario, they were drawing a foul every time. So they took 12 free throws for the quarter alone, and Miami only had 4. So you can see there was a clear directive from the group for Boston to just attack. Now, something that can never happen from if you're Miami is Daniel Theis thoroughly outplayed Bam. So a few clips here, just breaking the zone, a nice catch in the middle, hits the jumper. Then really good defensively in terms of coming across to help to not only block Jimmy's shot, but then he comes across to block Herro's drive. You can then see here the offensive rebound for the putback, so he's making sure he's active offensively as well. And then he taps out the offensive rebound to give him another possession. He then engages Jimmy down low and forces Jimmy into fouling him, and that puts Jimmy, makes him pick up his 4th foul. So this was in the third quarter, a crucial period again for Miami where they're trying to, come back, and that really hurt. So great from Daniel Theis that he was able to have that impact because he hasn't been very good this series otherwise. And then finally the Heat. So they obviously shot horrendously for the game. It was 19% from 3. Boston only shot 31% from 3, but Boston were also getting to the rim and Miami were not. But you can see clips here of, Duncan Robinson missing a couple of shots he was probably making in the first half. Dragic was forcing shots in the second half, included in this. And then Jay Crowder hasn't been hitting shots for the last 2 or 3 games, so he's sticking to that trend of really not being able to knock down anything. So that's sort of where the game was lost for the Heat today. You'd think they want to come back and make sure they get it done in 6, because if it pushes to 7, it's going to be heavily in Boston's favor. It doesn't really surprise me that Boston got the win, similar to Denver. They're a team that fights. They won't ever throw in the towel. And it's pretty clear that the trend of this series is very similar to OKC and Houston's, whereas if it's a close game, OKC or Miami seem to pull it out, but otherwise it'll be Houston or, in this case, the Celtics winning in double digits. So there's no other two ways about it. If it's a close one, you could probably assume Miami will get it done, but if not, it'll then be a double-digit win to Boston. So we'll see how Game 6 goes. I think Miami close it out, and then Lakers to close it out in a tight one for tomorrow. So we'll check in then.